Morning all, how we doing? Morning Michael, Profter, how you doing? Harry, morning. Good morning to all, but not for me. Cadian got me, it's my first lost, but I will live. Cadian. It's got you. How's it got you? You're not position trading it, and then obviously trading it with a stop, yeah? Yeah, still pushing up hard. Beautiful 3-bar reversal this morning on M15 and reversal alert. Look at that. Textbook. Doesn't get any cleaner than that. 3-bar reversal. Reversal alert immediately after it. That looks like a lovely entry. Cadien. Very, very, very extended. Just putting in a shooting star on the 4-hour hourly. May get a bearish engulfing. Got 5 minutes left on this candle. Unlikely, but might do. Yeah, looks good. Really good. Morning, Peter. Morning, Evil. Morning, Chris. Diamond. Right. No ADRs today so far. The yen announced its rates overnight. Well, not announced its rates, had the monetary policy statement overnight. The basic premise of it was positive for the yen. They believe there's no need to raise interest rates, and their CPI will be climbing. So everything that came out of the monetary policy statement was positive. So all CPI in Japan is expected to rise sharply. So yeah, I mean it's all positive about the yen, which is about time. We've been waiting for some yen strength for a long time. So although obviously there was no market reaction specifically to the news, in fact everything sort of went up a little bit against the yen. The outlook from the central bank is positive. So I would expect over the next sort of few weeks to see some strength starting to creep in across the yen. But it's not out of the woods yet, obviously. But positive, all positive, which is good. So we'll see what happens with that one. But I would be looking at the moment for sort of neutral to short on everything against the yen. At the moment, so we knew that was coming because the last was it last month or the month before, they laid out a very strict plan of what they were going to do to recover their economy out of the back of COVID, and this is just an extension of that. And what they've put into place seems to be working. The economy is still not doing very well, but they are making inroads, which is good. So we should see some yen strength hopefully starting to show through over the next few weeks as plans start to unravel. But there's no plans for interest rate rises. So one of the few countries that is not doing that. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. News-wise today, we've not really got anything today. So we've got the CAD retail at lunchtime and existing home sales. So nothing newsworthy today that is going to kickstart anything. No news overnight to affect anything really. China sells carrier through Taiwan Strait hours before Biden Z call. Right, okay. Next war starting over on the other side. God. Oh, no. Right. Pound yen on 4 hour is an M. Yep. Sort of. Nice long wicks to the upside. So good rejection showing at the moment. Being uneven M if we get a reversal out off the back of this. And then, yeah, as I say, potentially good move down. So, yeah, it is starting to form very nicely extended. You could always see as well, if you want to, there's two ways. I haven't covered this actually for a while, but I covered it in the old course that I built. Was to switch over to line charts, yeah, which I haven't got active on here. line charts give you a much clearer view of patterns. So you can see things a lot clearer when you switch to line charts for clarity. If you want to get clarity on M&W patterns, they're really, really good for sort of identifying them, if you like. And obviously the RSI you can also use as an indication as well. Just a little tip. Right, we've got 2 minutes to the open. In for a sell on Wednesday. Just took you out today. On the CAD yen, that was, yeah. What's the date? 18th. Yeah, you're obviously using a stop, which is fine. If you're using a stop, then yeah, you will get taken out. That's what happens when you use stops. Morning, Tammy. Proper risk management is key. Small lot size when position trading. Yeah, there was a break on the pound yen on M15. Yeah, that's the one I just showed. No, it wasn't. It was something else. It was CAD yen I just showed. But yeah, we got a little bit yen strength coming through this morning. Market's waking up to potential yen strength. So still just in your long UJ, waiting for it to catch up to the 10 EMA. Cool. Right, so no ADRs today. Let's have a look at what's going on with the indices. I've just taken a quick short on the DAX. Wow, volatility this morning. This is a speculative short based on, probably going to get stopped out on it, but based on yesterday's move, yeah, stopped out. So today I'm expecting something like a 700-point drop because we are just not stopping on these indices. They are not. I don't know what's going on with these indices. They are just off the charts at the minute. So I was just taking a quick open short there, expecting them to go out the gates today, but they haven't. So DAX basically, obviously, is massively pushing up hard. We had a big up day, say not up, big up day. We had an up day again yesterday. So it's 3 up days on the trot on the NAS. Same on the S&P, 3 up days. Dow. It's they're pushing up really, really, really hard. Morning, Franco. Morning, Brian. So yeah, big, strong pushes. So I'm expecting a drop today. If not the start of this next leg down, start of a pullback for next leg up. I really don't know. We've just made new market structure on the Dow. So the Dow is now, after yesterday, officially bullish. We're back in bullish market structure. Who'd have thought it already? S&P, not quite yet. So the S&P is not broken the highs yet. So we haven't quite got there on that one. NAS, we are still bearish. So we made a new low on the NAS. So there's real divergence across these indices at the minute. The market is very undecided, and it's basically sector driven, obviously. So there's some of these sectors are doing better than others. But I think a lot of this is due to the war. Going short one, DAX. So yeah, it's a bit of a confusing one, but we've had 3 up days. I think we're due a drop, and obviously if this bear market we're in at the minute, it's too early to end it. I mean, we are expecting a lot more drop than we're getting. It's just we're in a very, very deep pullback. We've just had a reversal alert on the daily, which shows you how strong it is, basically. So. Yeah, looking for a drop today. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my voice. So that's the plan. We haven't really got any decent gaps today. Actually, we've got a little one on the. Yeah, we have got one on the NAS. S&P's filled. Dow's filled. NAS hasn't. That's annoying. One bullish, two bearish. Again, a lot of divergence on these indices. So yeah, I mean, all of them I'm looking shorts. So we'll see where we go out the market, out the gates today. But that little speculative short didn't work. That's going to be a big old opening range today as well. But I'm going with the sell stop under the lows for the opening range break to the downside. We'll have a look through all the Forex pairs in a minute. Just see what the open does this morning. Bearish engulfing forming on the NAS and the Dow and the S&P. So looking like they want to open bearish at the minute. Okay, good rejection showing on the DAX. Going short one more. Don't need to worry about weekly ranges. We're on Friday. It's the end of the week. Nice retest on the S&P. Stalling a little at the minute. Pound's coming down fairly hard this morning by the looks of things. I know, pound CAD is. Yeah, pound Swiss. Looks like we got a strong Canadian dollar. potentially a strong Swiss franc this morning. So it's the CAD and the Swiss being moved this morning, especially the Swiss. So good Swiss franc strength coming through. Anybody take the Euro Swiss yesterday? I put the EA on the Euro Swiss yesterday to start taking shorts. So that's starting to play out now, Swiss franc strength. Got some buying pressure coming through on the DAX. American traders are still out drinking St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. I should imagine they'll be taking the day off rather than trading. There was a floor, I can't remember which one it was. You had to do a breathalyzer before you're allowed to trade in one of the hedge funds. Can't remember which one it was, but they had such a problem with drinking and drugs. You had to pass a tox screen before you're allowed to trade, which is pretty sensible when you're playing with other people's money. Okay, I've got a bit of indecision on the indices at the minute. I'm not surprised after that massive. We've got a massive opening range this morning on the DAX. Quite a tricky one to trade. Looks bullish, gapping up a little bit as well. So we're just retesting on the CAD yen, excuse me, at the moment. Oops. Nice reversal there. So let's see if we can hold this morning. This could be the start. Decent looking reversal. Big, strong Swiss franc. Aussie dollar yen starting to roll over as well, and the pound yen. So a little bit of yen strength. It's not massive, but it's a start. So nothing's going anywhere this morning, Adrian. It's all a bit undecided. Big flurry of orders came in. Lots of volume at the open, but stopped out of one of those. It's 1% down this morning. Not a good start, is it? Okay, so just trying to retest these highs at the moment. Looks like it wants to go long again this morning. So just stuck in this accumulation. At the minute, it's just very much bigger on the DAX. Right, not really getting anywhere this morning, are we? On these, so just going to do a quick overview of all the FX pairs while we're waiting for the market to decide which way it wants to go today. It's looking a little bit more bearish on the DAX than it is on the others, but we are looking like we want to push up a little this morning, but if you look at the dailies on them so far, there's room to come up obviously to yesterday's high at the moment, so it may be that they want to push up to the highs and then induce some shorts in, but we'll see. Not really going anywhere. I was expecting the DAX to come out. I was expecting them to come out the gate short today, based on the fact that we'd had some initial bearish pre-market action in the Globex session on the US indices, but doesn't seem to have a directional bias so far. We will see. Okay, we'll come back to those in a minute when they're doing something of interest. Right. DAX is starting to show signs of going short now. Right. Okay, so 4 hour RSIs. Aussie dollar, US dollar. Yeah, Aussie dollar, US dollar is very extended. We'll cover that one in a sec. Aussie dollar, Swiss. So Aussie dollar, Swiss. Obviously, Swiss franc strength this morning coming through. Finally, we've been waiting for this Swiss franc strength for a long time. Hopefully, we'll get a good couple of bars push on this now. You can obviously see we've had a massive, strong push. The Aussie dollar and the New Zealand dollar have been really, really strong at the back of the war. Lots of money sort of coming in. It's either money coming into those currencies or it's money coming out of the other currencies, making them look strong because they're not being affected by it. But either way, we've had big, strong pushes on both of those. We've had real weakness on the other currencies, not being able to beat them down. So things are starting to normalise a little bit now. And Swiss franc is obviously starting to power up. I posted in the Telegram group this morning that image from Financial Juice. This is a currency strength picture, basically. So currency strength is no real use for timing entries or for looking specifically at what you should be trading based on strength of currency, because obviously when that currency gets strong, it will then at some point weaken. So if you say, oh look, the Aussie dollar is really, really strong and the yen is really weak, I should be longing Aussie dollar yen. By the time you get into it, by the time you identify that strength and that weakness, it's time for them to start going the other way. So you end up being on the wrong side of the trade. They do have a use though, from an extension perspective. We know that the yen is massively weak, and we know that the Aussie dollar is massively strong. After a big, strong move, you'd get a retracement. So the only use I ever found for currency strength was to identify things that you should be trading in completely the opposite direction. So Aussie dollar is massively strong. yen is massively weak. What I would like to be doing here is shorting the Aussie dollar against the yen, because as you can see, when things push up, they come back down. Pushes down, goes back up. So that's how I would use currency strength and how I tried to trade with it. But again, it didn't work. That's because I was using stop losses. So at the moment, obviously, we've got a massively strong Aussie dollar, but that is going to start to wane. They cannot continue to pump the Aussie dollar. They've got to start taking profits on these moves. So looks to me like the Swiss franc is starting to power up, which means this one is going to be its first sort of victim by the looks of things. So Aussie dollar Swiss. So if you got into this one this morning, great entry. If you got into it before because it was already extended, you would have got in at some point yesterday on this one. So that would be a second entry. So looks good for shorts Aussie dollar Swiss. Aussie dollar yen even more extended, as I was just saying. Massive yen weakness. We are over the top on this one. When we get up into the 85s, it's like all over it like a shot, pound US, Aussie dollar yen. So, really, really good opportunity on this one. At some point, we're just going to get that kind of elevator shaft move start where we're going to get a day of complete destruction. No idea when it's going to start. You never have. It will start when it starts. When people start to take profits on these moves, the sellers will start to step in, and the combination of people taking profits and starting to enter sell orders at the same time will just drive that down very hard. So again, monitor that one. Look for reversal alerts. We just had a reversal alert this morning. We're just retesting it now. This is going to be your retest candle right here in 5 minutes. Assuming that closes below that level there, that's going to be the retest. Looks really, really good. Aussie dollar yen for shorts, really, really extended. And obviously, if this thing does continue to go up and it wants to push higher, we are just going to get more extended. The more extended we get, the bigger that elastic band stretches, the faster it snaps back in the opposite direction. So, really good looking mean reversion opportunity on Aussie dollar yen. Aussie US. Similar sort of thing. We've got doji going in at the moment, so complete indecision in the market at the moment. Buyers ran out of steam, sellers weren't able to push down, so indecision. We're stalling. It's like a plane. Think of it like a plane. You stall just before you come down. So again, good opportunity for shorts there. Haven't had a profit take on this move. We had this massive candle put in, but that was off the back of news, so that's not really. That was just a whipsaw action on behalf of the bank. So looking for some kind of pullback on this one as well. Aussie dollar, we are expecting US dollar strength to come through. At the moment, the US dollar is a little weak. So when we get that strength starting to push, we should see that one starting to come down as well. And CAD Swiss. Swiss franc strength just starting to show. Again, not quite as extended as the others. CAD yen is a better trade. I think anything against the yen is a better trade at the minute. But CAD Swiss starting to run out of steam up there. We've just taken the liquidity from this week, this morning, and they're starting to run with it. So looks like a good short as well. M15 just had a reversal alert. Oh no, haven't, not yet, because we had a big push up this morning. So just about to get a reversal alert on that. There's the liquidity taken from yesterday. So again, big short, at least down to there. If not, obviously on the higher time frame, there's a long way to come back down. So looking for highs of the previous week, potentially. This lovely big gap. That's what they're going to aim for. So that's CAD Swiss. CAD yen, massively extended. So I'm just watching the DAX on my other screen, seeing what it's up to. It has gone a massive bearish engulfing. Huge bearish engulfing. Didn't quite get down to trigger my second entry. It's just about to trigger my second entry in a minute. Hopefully we're going to get the opening range break to the downside. I'm just going to extend my TP on that one. I really think we're going to get we are so due a down day on these indices. I really want to hold these today. Keep my stops wide. Enter multiple positions on this and see if we can milk this today. I think we're going to get a decent drop today. It's well overdue. Indices are very, very orderly. Just changing the subject for a minute. Most of the time, they are very orderly. You get very orderly market structure on them. if this is going to be a push up, we're going to get a pullback. So it's just logic that it is due to drop at some point shortly. So just trying to catch it, and that's where you're going to make your money, when you actually catch it and hold it, which is the plan today. Sorry, where was I? CAD yen. So yeah, CAD yen. Okay, look at this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days solid up on the CAD yen. 15 days solid up there we had, without a rest. Well, you had a couple of little rests in the middle, but yeah, it's due very shortly. Very nicely extended on the CAD yen on the 4 hour. We had a little profit take in the middle, which is more of a flag accumulation before the next leg up. We haven't stopped on this thing literally all week. We've just been going solid upwards. Now we've got the monetary policy statement from the yen. I think we should see some strength starting to show on these now, so really good opportunity for short. Still going this morning though. Swiss yen still going. Obviously Swissy obviously is strengthening up now. So the Swiss yen obviously is the one where we've got now two currencies potentially strengthening. The Swissy though is very intermittent. It will push and then it will stop, and then when it stops the yen will take over and drop it. But that's why you get this nice orderly market structure typically on the Swissy. Anything you trade against the Swissy is very orderly usually. So after a big strong push you'll tend to get a drop. So not quite as extended, the Swiss yen. This is just coming up for its most extended point in a minute. So we should potentially today, we should light up 75. And obviously if it continues to push up to 80s, then it'll be massive extension ready for a drop. So good opportunity for shorts on the Swiss yen. Euro Swiss started to come down, got into this one yesterday. So yeah, just starting to roll over, looking for collapse on the euro. Euro yen, same thing. Yen strength starting to show through. We got a nice accumulation starting there. Break of those lows would be initial move, and obviously when we get the reverse alert, we should see this one starting to tumble as well. M15. Whoops. You've had the reversal alert. It's already retested, but we are just sitting in an accumulation at the moment. So when we break back down against these lows, if you're not already in it, that's really where you'd like to start getting in if you wanted to add in. When we break those lows, another addition there. Euro yen, pound odd. Right, so the pounds basically are still massively struggling. Imagine you're trading with no stop loss and Putin just launched a missile on the US. Yeah, you'd be dead. Well, you might not be. You might be a millionaire. Depends if you're trading with a TP as well, doesn't it, really? If it all goes your way, you'll be fine. Depends which way you're trading. So yeah, the pounds are still really struggling. All the pounds basically are just basically dying on their feet. It's just, I'm not quite sure what's going on with the pound. It's linked to the euro at the minute, and we're sort of obviously in a downtrend. The rate announcement was bearish, and most of these where we had the rate announcement, we haven't managed to get back up and fill the gaps on them. So that's what I'm anticipating happening. But today they've just fallen out of bed again. So I think at the minute, the pounds obviously are a short. Although they're starting to get extended, some of these, it's a bit tricky to know whether or not they are good long opportunities. I would say at some point we're going to be coming back up into fill that gap, but we've also got some decent lows on the pound odd, which potentially we're going to want to come down and grab the liquidity. So anybody from last week that saw the move starting to the upside will have their liquidity sitting under there. Then pulled back and started to push and rally again. Anybody that's taking along this week is going to have their liquidity down there. So it kind of makes sense to come down and take this out before you make a move up. Market structure is shifting to the upside. Yeah. So if we don't come down and take this liquidity, obviously market structure is long, but it's just not very strong, is it? It's very weak. Every time we've pushed up, we've collapsed really fast. It just doesn't look very strong at all at the minute. And it seems to be being kicked around by the other currencies quite a lot. So I suspect at the minute you're probably better off staying out of these pound pairs, certainly from a long perspective, as it just seems to be very, very weak. But it is moving. So you will get opportunities, I think, to get out of the positions. I just think we're sort of heading a little bit into the euro territory with the pound at the moment, in the fact that the pullbacks are very, very shallow when we get them. So you've got to kind of be a bit nimble and get in and out fast on these. So it may be that hourly extensions and M5 entries are possibly better options on the pound pairs at the moment. But saying that, it is very nicely extended. Last time we got down here, we had a lovely little rally. Obviously, this was the war, so that's unprecedented. The war announcement, we didn't know what was going to happen to anything there, so that just collapsed. But we are extended, so therefore we should be looking for a pullback. One of two things is going to happen on it. We're either going to switch, we're either going to take liquidity and run, or we're going to switch market structure short, in which case you're just going to get a pullback and a drop, which means you need to be out on the pullback, 50% at the most, probably, I'd imagine. So, pound odd, nicely extended, but not my favourite at the moment. Pound yen, however, if we're going to get the yen strength coming through and the pound is going to continue to do what it's doing at the moment, looking good for shorts up there. Very, 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 very extended. See how weak the yen has been. The pound's been on its knees, and the pound's on its knees, and it's beating the yen. So shorts definitely on pound yen. New Zealand dollar Swiss. Just starting to roll over now, very nicely extended, up at the 80s. We'll be looking for at least a pullback if this New Zealand dollar strength is going to continue. And obviously that's just started now, so you've already missed this one if you're not in it. Nice rollover starting there. New Zealand dollar yen, same thing. New Zealand dollar obviously is strong, but yen is starting to strengthen up. So hopefully this is the start of that move down. We're really, really nicely extended there. So even if we kind of gradually push up and remain extended, we're just waiting for the drop. Not getting much out of these drops at the moment, but when you see something pushing this hard for multiple weeks with very few profit takes, we tend to get the elevator shaft at some point. So if you look at this as a multi-week, multi-leg move, we will at some point start that sell structure, that bear cycle, and this will all start to unravel itself. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, very up and down based off the US dollar at the minute, very weak. Looking for strength on the US dollar to push this one back down. We've got a lovely level potentially for a bounce up there. So looking good for short opportunities as well on that one. Definitely because it's obviously caught by us as well, US dollar longs. So we should be seeing good movement to the downside on that. US dollar CAD. So really good, strong CAD at the moment, pushing this US dollar down. Not had any relief on this one at all. Lovely short, support coming up down there. Which is where we turned lovely 3-bar reversal off of that hammer, pushed all the way up. We are ever so slightly bullish on this. We've just had an awful lot more strength coming through on the CAD. So that should be a good push up to the upside there. Profster's just made loads of money on the DAX. Good, you've reminded me. Ought to check my trades. There we go. 1.3, 1.4. What am I down? I'm down 1%. Do I bag a percent? Let it run. I'm going to be brave today. I've got a conviction in short on this. We've got a lovely opening range break starting to the downside. So I'm going to hold this and wait for pullbacks on it. I'm going to take it from there. So just checking my stop, basically. My stop on that second position is there, which is above the 61.8. So if we're going to continue market structure and we are going to get the downside break today, that's where I'd be looking maximum for a pullback. The strength of this move, I probably suspect we're going to get something like a 38 to a 50 pullback on it. So look for drops off of pullbacks. I was actually monitoring that at the corner of my eye, but last time I looked at it, we were sort of here and it hadn't triggered. So this move's all happened very, very, very quick. So very large dump we just had out the lows. So yeah, US dollar CAD, Canadian dollar, decent strength, US dollar a little bit weak at the moment. This will correct itself as we get some US dollar strength coming through. Obviously oil at the moment is a real quandary. And the Canadian dollar is obviously linked a lot to oil movement. So this thing's, look at this thing. So annoying. It's started to move now. I got stopped out multiple times on this, looking to long this thing. And I said we were going to do a gap fill and we were going to bounce off the gap fill. I just had 2 tight stops on this. It stopped me out. But yeah, we're getting the bounce now. So remember what I said on oil, just flicking about, obviously, this morning a little bit. Let's get rid of that fib. So with oil, what I anticipate happening is we were in a bull trend before the war. The war obviously happened, and then they went, oh, actually, no, this isn't going to have a massive impact. And I was suspecting we were going to just get a continuation long. This is quite actually a big bounce, considering the previous price action on the longs. Look, that's what we were typically getting out of long. We've just had double that happening in 24 hours. So big strong movement on oil. Obviously bolstering the CAD as well. So I think we'll probably see that starting to retrace now, US dollar CAD. We should see some US dollar strength starting to come through, but I think we might need a little bit more of a push down to these lows to get a bounce. But tricky. Market structure now is bearish on this. So either way, if we're going to continue on a downward movement on US dollar CAD, we're going to get a pullback for the next leg down. So it's primed for a lovely little long, but whether or not we're going to get a decent push on it, difficult to tell. But you know, you're massively extended, you're going to get that bounce back shortly. US dollar yen, again, anything yen. When the yen powers up, if the yen powers up shortly in the next couple of weeks, we're going to get a big strong push, massively extended on this, but it's US dollar long against potentially a yen long. So not the best thing to trade, US dollar yen. I'll be waiting for anything that gets massively extended. So at the moment, I'm looking at 80s really of my main focus. 75s are creeping back in now, but anything below that, I'm not really interested at the minute. I want to see things getting really, really, really extended before I get interested in them. Just got a little pullback on the DAX at the minute. It says to 38. Hourlies, still got a lot extended on the hourlies as well. Aussie dollar Swiss. Whoops, that's CAD Swiss. Aussie dollar Swiss rolling over. So that one move's already started. If you were in on this one, you would have been in from, depending on what level you were using, obviously. But you would have been in from yesterday, possibly from Wednesday, but certainly you would have been in at some point there yesterday. So second entry's up there. You're probably in profit now. If you were in from Wednesday, you're on your way to going back to break even. So Aussie dollar yen, obviously that one is just starting to roll over as well. This has been extended for a couple of days. So again, with this Aussie, we had a big strong push yesterday, which was unexpected. So starting to unravel now. Aussie New Zealand just got extended. Quite sure what that is. Something I'd drawn on previously for something. Aussie dollar yen rolling over nicely. Good levels on this one. Just running up into all these highs and rejecting back again off these highs. That's the sort of move I'd be looking for potentially. Very extended, or was very extended. Up to 75 yesterday. So we just taken out yesterday's high and we're just collapsing off the top now. Aussie dollar, US dollar, same thing, just starting to roll over. All these Aussies are starting to roll over. CAD yen, just about to get a reversal, and on the hourly, we've been extended on this one for a long time. I've got 4 positions running on this one at the moment. Just open the EA. So I've got 4 running on this one at present. CAD yen, where have you gone? There you are. So yeah, I got in on Monday. That was Friday, wasn't it? Friday I got in. Is it Friday? Where are we? Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Monday I got in. So Monday got in, second entry, third entry, fourth entry. It's just starting to roll over. This is too close to getting to another position there. So looking for basically a nice pullback on this one, on CAD yen. That's what I've got running at the moment. Euro Swiss, so there's my Euro Swiss trade that I took yesterday off of that reversal alert. Sorry, this morning, took that in Asia. It's coming down very nicely. Euro Swiss, just so you know, I've extended my TP on the Euro Swiss. Normally I go for half an ADR or 0.5%. But what I've decided to do with this one is extend it. So I basically just put a big figure in there. But I've extended it to 3 ADR and I'm going to monitor it because I've got a feeling the Euro Swiss is going to start continuing the downtrend that we saw on this that formed before the war. So this downtrend, we started to rally ever so slightly, and obviously this is where we started to see the trend continuation happen, and then obviously the war kicked in, and we had that massive drop, which has been again unravelled. Everything that happened off the war seems to sort of unravelled very, very quickly, and then basically, I think we're going to start the next leg down bounce off of the 72. So we're coming back up into this area where we were unsure, and I think now we're probably sure we're going down. So daily, 4 hour, just starting to roll over very nicely. We should see a decent drop starting on this one. So I'm putting a higher target on that. Where do I get up to? CAD yen, Swiss yen, just about extended on the hourly. Again, yen strength starting to show, but we've got a very strong Swissy this morning. So again, it's only just extended, that one, not gone far enough yet. Euro odd, anything euro extended I'm interested in as a short, so extended for a long, not really interested in that one. Pound odd, not quite extended enough for me either. And again, with the pounds, really not sure about long in the pound at the moment. Pound New Zealand, same thing. I do fancy all of these. Whenever I see this, it virtually always gets faded. It's very rare, sort of 10% of the time you'll find that these won't get faded. Normally they will fade the next day. I was expecting them to do it today, but it looks like they've done a liquidity run. So if you look at the pound odd, they've taken yesterday's low. The pound CAD has taken yesterday's low. We're just putting in a potential hammer on the hourly at the moment. Pound Swiss, obviously, we've got a massively strong Swiss franc, so the pound's not going to win up against that. And Pound New Zealand, so they've just done a liquidity run. So I've got a feeling this is the start of the move, potentially to come up and do these gap fills. But they can take days sometimes, especially when you've got a weak currency, and at the moment we have got a very weak pound. But if it's a grinding move, it's just a case of trying to catch the bottom. If you're going to use a stop loss, it's trying to catch the bottom. And when you catch the bottom, you're going to easily get that nice reward because it will just grind very orderly. Or they tend to just do that and literally we get a V-shaped recovery the next day. So one of those two things is going to happen, I think, at the moment on those. But as I say, around about 10% of the time, it doesn't happen. So just got to bear that in mind, whether you're using a stop or you're not using a stop. New Zealand dollar Swiss. Rolling over, Swiss franc strength, very nicely extended on the hourly. The 5-minute reversal alert was just at the end of Asia. Anybody get on that one? Nobody would know, but the Swissies obviously powering up massively this morning. New Zealand dollar yen, same lovely retest. So we've got the reversal alert and the retest coming down very, very, very nicely. Very good New Zealand dollar weakness and Aussie dollar weakness this morning, and Swiss franc strength. US dollar CAD's just about got extended on the hourly. We are seeing some strength coming through on that one. So yeah, good movements across the board. Things are starting to move. Gold. Gold, I'm looking long. Again, the war effect, basically, we had spike, complete recovery. We've pulled back into the 24, which is where we were looking for a bounce. We didn't get the bounce. We got a bullish engulfing there, and now we are starting to roll over. So that's the sort of movement I'm looking for on gold. Just kind of basing out really down here at the moment, but yeah, it's difficult because, as I say, everything at the moment, we are still in the clutches of this conflict, and it's going to have an impact on everything. So you would expect commodity prices and metal prices to continue to rise in times of conflict as things get more scarce and therefore become more expensive to get hold of. Cost of shipping things gets more expensive. Everything gets more expensive. So these sorts of things you would look for big, strong moves on, or gradual grinds, either or. But gold, definitely I'll be looking for longs on it. Same as oil. But we've had like a very stagnated gold market. It's been very, very flat for a long time. So now we're starting to see signs of a trend forming. So when we get that breakout into a trend, we've broken out 2 levels there as well. I would say we're probably going to start to trend up on gold. It's going to get more expensive. But you never know at the moment. Bitcoin and everything will be coming down, same as the indices. Don't really need to cover those anymore. They're the indices. Right, so let's have a quick look at what's going on with the indices. Speaking of the indices. So that's all your RSIs covered this morning. Lots of opportunities, lots of stuff starting to move and play out this morning. Start of moves on lots and lots of these pairs, especially that Aussie dollar yen. Really starting to roll over nicely. We've got the 5-minute reversal and retest. We've got the 15-minute hourly. If we can get the hourly during the London session, we should hopefully see New York put in a retest and continuation. My 4-hour has given a buy arrow on gold. You've probably got yours set up slightly differently, maybe. But yeah, that's a nice retest there. Right, indices. God, because the state of that, whippy, very whippy. We've got a lot of buying pressure coming through at these lows on the S&P. Same on the NAS and the Dow. DAX. So we've got the 38 retracement bounce. We are just pushing. Oh, there we go. Crikey, that was quick. Popped out those lows very fast. Something just happened? A lot of absorption down here at the minute. A lot of buyers trying to step in. That was a big, fast move there that just totally got eaten back up by buy orders. So a lot of movement going on. Oh, okay. Zelensky's aide Zakhovka. We won't negotiate an inch on Ukrainian territory. Tell you what, I'm switching over to Financial Juice. Financial Juice is so much faster with the news than anything out there. So it's so much better. I used to use this ages ago for stocks. When I was trading stocks, I used to use Financial Juice. I haven't used it for absolutely ages. And I saw an advert for Tick Strike the other day, last week or so. And it sort of brought me back to Financial Juice because the guys that own Financial Juice own Tick Strike. You just get everything so much quicker on here than you do on any other news service. So I'm going to stick with that at the moment. So that was basically a reaction there you just saw to that news. I shorted QQQ yesterday. Am I wrecked? I don't know. How am I meant to answer that question? You shorted it from where? What's your stop loss? What's your take profit? What time frame are you trading? Are you swinging? Are you scalping? I don't know. I would say you're probably pretty safe because it's due a pullback. But I don't know where your stop is, so I can't tell you if you're wrecked or not. I'd say you're probably pretty safe. We've got a nice M pattern, obviously just forming at the moment. But we're a little bit undecided. So we've just broken out of this opening range low, but we're not quite decided which way we're going at the moment. A lot of absorption, a lot of buyers stepping in, which I don't like to see when I'm short. We have just made a new low on the American indices, so we are starting to push down. Just very hard. A lot of rejection. A lot of rejection. So another reason for a short there as well. Obviously, we're still looking for the gap fill from Wednesday morning. We'll see. I'm toying with the idea of banking this and trying to jump it again or on a new position. I still think though, if we're going to get a pullback, we should be pretty safe in this zone in the moving averages. Basically, if we're going to go into a trend today, I wouldn't expect us to really break the 50. Yeah, so looking for the 50-20 area to act as support if we're going to trend, like here. Yeah. I'm still not convinced if we're going to trend today, though. I don't know. Quidizzle. I'm just struggling to say your name. I honestly don't know. I don't know those numbers because I don't trade the Qs. But it's Nasdaq basically. So short indices at the minute. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov, we are not closing the door to the West. They are closing the door. It's weird how you can have such a completely different outlook on a situation, isn't it? It's like we've bent over backwards to do as much as we can for Russia, and yet they think we're sticking the knife in. Totally deluded. I think there's a lot of conspiracy theorists a lot of theories out there about Putin dying, basically. He's put on a lot of weight. He's gone very puffy. He's on steroids. This is his parting gift. I've got a feeling one of his own generals is going to turn around and pop him because 90% of Russian army at the moment are getting out their tanks and walking home. They're being fed 7-year-old dog food, apparently. It was on the news this morning. The Ukrainians have captured 106 Russian tanks, and the supplies in there are out of date by 7 years. These Russians giving up to the Ukrainians and surrendering, basically, so they can get some food. The morale on the Russian side is on its knees at the moment. They're absolutely not interested. This is Putin's war. It's not Russia's war. So I've got a feeling this thing's going to sort of peter out at some point, but I think it's more likely to end with the demise of Putin than it is with anything else at the minute. Can I see previous session data to know where price might go in current session? For example, see what happened in New York and then check the current session where price might go. Yes, you can. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. You can look at sessions, yeah. All the sessions are on your chart. There's the London session from yesterday. There's the London session from the previous day. Yesterday's New York session. Is that what you mean? Not quite sure what you mean. Odd US dollar. Got your 1% Franco. Good. Rejecting. There's a lot of just market stalling a little bit, looking like it wants to do a little bit of a pullback. Lots of rejection down here. He may need to see to say that not to seem too cozy with the West for any ceasefire with Russia. Yeah, I don't know what he's up to. I really don't know what he's up to. Crazed. Quidizzle, Naz. 14,400 stop loss, 13,950 entry. 13,950. Somewhere around there. Yeah, I mean, you might be good. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't trade that long term on indices at the moment. Nice wide stop. Good risk reward. That's all you need. If the market, Professor, if the market goes bearish on New York yesterday, it can add some confluence that what might happen in New York today. I don't know. You'd have to do some study and analysis on stuff like that. There's ways of testing edges like that. You can visually test it. But for me, I don't look at what happened yesterday happens yesterday. What happens today is affected by completely different things to yesterday. Market moves on news. All markets move on news. Indices move on stock earnings and news. Do you think what's happened today with P&O is going to have a positive or a negative impact on shipping? Stuff like that. That's what impacts it. Wars. Whether it went up or down in New York yesterday doesn't matter really. Some troops have shot themselves with Ukraine ammo to get out of the front. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Ukrainians are putting up way more of a fight than Putin ever imagined. So. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. Still no RSIs. ADR hits. RSIs, we've had a load just turned off there because obviously we've got a load of movement in the opposite direction happening. So everything that was extended is now not extended because we've got movement. Stop changing the wrong chart when I ask you. Quidizzle, am I an intraday trader? I'm a position trader, but I also trade intraday on the indices. Go and have a look at the website. MarketStructureTrader.com. There's loads and loads of training on there of how I trade. Basically, Position Trading Bootcamp is a 5-day course on position trading, all the indicators and everything that I use. It's all on the website. All the links are in the description of the video you're watching now. Or, obviously, the live stream you're watching now. Rather. You're not watching a video. Well, you are watching a video if you're watching this after I've recorded it, obviously, because... anyway, you know what I mean. I'm not going to teach you how to watch videos. Nice bearish action coming in now on the indices. See if we can get these new lows in. Aerial sat photos. Tank graveyard. Ukraine fight jungle warfare. Doing well. Yeah. The news this morning, I was quite surprised. They've lost, I think, something like 65 tanks. They're reporting they've lost in the Ukrainian side. They haven't just lost more than 65 tanks. The Ukrainians have captured more than 65 tanks from the Russians because the Russians have bailed out of the tanks. So you add that up with the amount that the Ukrainians have actually destroyed. They're winning this quite substantially. The problem they have at the moment is they cannot compete in the air. So you can fight them in the streets and beat them easily. You can take out their armor, but what you can't do is stop your entire civilization being flattened by bombs. And this is why they keep calling for this no-fly zone, because if there was a no-fly zone, Putin would lose immediately. But if there's a no-fly zone, NATO gets involved and Putin loses anyway. But that also starts World War III. It's an impossible situation, isn't it? For all parties involved, apart from the Russians. The Russians can get on with doing what they want. We can't get involved. The Ukrainians can't be helped. So, nasty. It's just a nasty, nasty situation. Profster, I'm finishing high school this year. What major will help me in this industry? Economics. If you want to get into the banking system, economics. But most people in banking will tell you not to get into the banking system. There's good money to be made. But if you want to become a floor trader, I mean, not a floor trader, there's no such thing. Well, there is floor traders, but if you want to become a trader in the banking system, it is a long journey. And it is starting at the bottom. But the bottom starts you at $50,000 to $60,000. So but it's tough. It's a lot of people, well, not say a lot of people, I don't know that many people, but the people I know that have been in the banking industry liken it to becoming an actor. The amount of people that come out with economics degrees that want to get into banking and the high-level jobs in banking which make you the most money are to do with speculative trading. And it's like, you know, there are 50 desks for speculative trading in Barclays in Singapore, for example. And there'll be about 2,500 people after those 50 desks. One desk comes up, it's like you have to go and audition for it. Very, very, very hard to get in. Massively rewarding, you know, 6 figures, million plus, but you got to be top. Which is why a lot of the professional traders that have worked in the banks are now trading for themselves. They've become retail traders because they can make more money retail trading. They just need to get the money together, financing. But if you've been in the banking sector, you've got the finances because you just sell one of your Ferraris and start trading with that. But you got to get the Ferrari first. That's the hard bit. It's a catch-22, isn't it? Chicken and egg. Franco, Proster, get your Class A truck license. 3 months dollars in your pocket for life. 50,000 starting salary. College is a scam. Yeah, I mean, I went to college. I dropped out of college. I started earning money. Qualifications are great if you want to follow a career. And I strongly believe that. If you want to become an engineer or you want to become a lawyer or you want to become an accountant or a surgeon or anything in the medical profession, if you want to get into something that is a lifetime kind of career and you're happy to train to get there, you need to go to college or university or whatever. If you just want to earn money, drop out of high school and go and earn some money. I mean, it's up to you, obviously, what you want to do. But if you want to earn money, you can earn money now. If you want to get into the banking industry, you're going to need an economics degree. So you've got to go that route. And then you're getting into a career in banking and finance. But it's the same as anything, yeah. And I've said this analogy many, many times before. The problem with the retail trading business as a whole is everybody thinks they can get MT4, download a demo account and earn 6 figures a year. You can't do that. I liken it to becoming a brain surgeon. You cannot pick up a scalpel and open someone's head up and perform brain surgery. Why do you think you can download MT4 and suddenly make 6 figures a year? Ridiculous. You need to spend 5 to 10 years studying this market and this industry before you're going to make any money. You've got to put the time in, which means buying thousands and thousands of pounds worth of courses, downloading and testing every indicator under the sun, learning economics, learning fundamentals, understanding how the market works, and watching these charts tick over for 10,000 hours. Until you've done all of that, no one's going to make money. And that's what you do when you go into the banking sector. And you want to get into trading, they will stick you in front of a ladder, yeah, and tell you to watch the bid and the ask for weeks until you understand what is going on in the market. It's an auction. People are hitting the bid, people are hitting the ask, and it's ticking up and ticking down. Buyers and sellers. And they will sit you there. You won't even be able to press a button and take a trade until you've watched this thing for a month. And you're being paid peanuts to do that. It's a really hard industry. People don't understand until they actually try and get into it. It's horrible. Yeah, but if you want Barclays to give you a £20 million dollar portfolio to speculatively trade and make them money, they're not going to just go, oh, well done, you've got an economics degree, here's 20 million, see if you can make us 500k a day. Yeah, same as a brain surgeon is not going to get given a scalpel. He's got to cut a lot of pigs open first and prove that he can operate and do the job. Yeah, same as anything. Lawyers, you're not going to walk into a court tomorrow and go, I've just passed my lawyer's exams, can I take on the highest profile murder case in the country? Not going to happen, is it? But again, people still think they can earn 50k a year, 100k a year as a trader from home with no experience. Doesn't work that way. Don't want to burst anybody's bubbles, but just would rather be honest. And it's taken me 13 years to get to where I am, and a lot of money. But hey, the CLAP exams to get your general education requirements very low cost. Take CLEP exams. CLAP exams. What's that? Isn't that what you get at college? College here in Kuwait is free. God, the government pay. That's awesome. That's the other thing. You go to college over in you go to college and uni in the UK. You're coming out with a £30,000 to £50,000 debt before you even get a job. It's really stacked against you, isn't it? The Ukrainians could raise massive amounts of geese and then release them when the Russian jets are coming over. That is not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. They're doing pretty well taking jets down by the sounds of things. We've given them the tools to do the job. So okay, just trying to take out these new lows. We're really, really stuck on the indices at the minute. I'm just kind of waiting for something to happen, but it's not happening. So I think we are looking like we are going to go down this morning. Just be aware of levels, really. So yesterday's Asian high and London high is the next level down on the Dow. S&P is roughly the same. NAS, we are sitting on support at the minute. Not going anywhere. We're not really going anywhere this session in the US indices, but and obviously DAX, we've got the gap fill play. It's going to be quite a tall ask to get down there in the Frankfurt session. Might make it down there in New York. Obviously, ADR is way down here at the moment. We are putting some big candles at the minute on the daily. So ADR is a long way off. So we have got potential today to put a big down day in, but I'm not sure how long I want to hold these, considering we're not actually getting very far today. See too many young people waste their lives and going into college debt slavery. Yeah, I know people. I'm in my mid-40s. I still know people that have got or are just finishing off uni debt from 20 years ago. It's very, very difficult, and nowadays it's even worse, isn't it? You come out with like a massive debt, and usually credit card debt, all sorts of other debt on top of your university debt, unless you've got extremely rich parents. Kadizzle, what do you think about trading crypto or Bitcoin? I don't trade them. They follow the indices, basically. Now. They're volatile, and nobody knows really what the driving force behind them is. So I'd rather trade stable markets that the rest of the financial industry is trading. When the financial industry dumps normal currency and decides actually crypto is the future, then we'll switch. But until then, it's a massive bubble waiting to burst as far as I'm concerned. And I don't fully understand it. There's no fundamentals that drive crypto. So therefore, you can't trade something with no fundamental bias. It's basically being manipulated, as we saw with Putin. Putin started a war. All of a sudden, crypto markets went up when the rest of the markets crashed. There's a load of Russian money going into crypto. It's very obvious. And if someone like Elon Musk can tweet and move crypto, and Putin could start a war and move crypto, where the rest of the markets are doing the opposite thing, there's a lot of manipulation there. So I just don't want to get involved with things that are manipulated. Same as synthetic industries, all these indices, these people trading the volatility indices, which are created by it's like options. It's all manipulated by the brokers to make money. You don't stand a chance. They'll give you some money. Same as when you go and join a betting company, they'll give you a bonus. If a broker's going to give you a deposit bonus on your entry, on your deposit, you're gambling, aren't you? No one's going to suddenly go, oh, come and join us. We'll give you $500 for joining us. The only reason they do that is because they know they're going to take that $500 off of you and some. And crypto, I see in the same way. But, a lot of people are making a lot of money out of crypto, and good on them. But if you compare the two, I've done this comparison loads of times. Yeah, look at the S&P 500 and look at Bitcoin and Ethereum and the Nasdaq. Yeah, it's doing the same thing. Bitcoin is just it has become linked to the indices. So if you're going to trade something, why not trade the indices? We know what drives these. These are driven by stocks. So my opinion is trade something safer than something that, at the end of the day, let's say there was a EMP released. And everybody's got tons and tons and tons of cryptocurrency in hard wallets. EMP destroys all those wallets. What happens to the crypto market? I just don't know. So I'm just not interested. And there's a very high chance that the EMP will be released with what's going on at the moment. Who knows? Crypto markets are super manipulated. Yeah. So we've gone green to red on the indices, just about on the DAX, on the NAS. DAX is coming down fairly nicely. Just made a new low. But hey, if you want to trade crypto, though, do it. There's nothing wrong with it. It moves. If it moves, it's tradable. It's just for me personally, to understand how to trade something, I need to understand what is driving it and how it's being driven. And that's the bit I don't get. I haven't got the time to put into learning how crypto works in enough detail to trade it. But if you want my opinion on it, you should be shorting it at the moment. Same as you should be shorting the indices. Until they prove me otherwise, and then I will long them. But that's what you do, isn't it? Yeah, you long and you short. You have a conviction, you hit a button, you make money or you don't. As long as you've got positive risk reward and using a stop loss, that's fine. If you're position trading, as long as you're getting in at times of extension, you'll be fine. Crypto is easier to trade. That's why people like it. I don't think it is easier to trade. It took me a good 3 to 4 days to even understand the mechanics of how Binance works before I could even take a trade. I couldn't even get money into the right wallet to be able to push the buy and sell button. I think crypto is ridiculously complex. It's easy to buy it. I mean, I can go into my PayPal account now and transfer my balance from PayPal into crypto. But that's not trading. That's just holding. That's buying. I'm closing one out. We're getting there's a bit more rejection down here. So I've just banked 1%. So I'm flat, basically. So that 1% loss I took on the initial open, I'm back to flat, holding 0.6 short. I'm not going to bank 0.5%, because I think we are going to come down and try this gap this afternoon. So I'm just going to ride this one out and see if I can get a couple of percent out of this position. But yeah, no, that might just be me getting old with crypto. Binance I've found very difficult to navigate. I know there's others out there. But I'm used to trading in trading platforms like MT4, MT5, NinjaTrader, Sierra Chart. I'm used to that. I'm not used to having to do things through online. And it just is, it's just complicated. I don't need that in my life. Getting too old for complication. God, I sound old. I get your argument. Why trade crypto when it's linked to indices? But it's more affected by Black Swan Elon tweets. The spreads and the fees on index trading is also less. Yeah. Yeah, there's pluses and minuses. But, trade whatever you... At the end of the day, if you can make money out of it, trade it. Just know how you're making money and why you're making money. Yeah, that's the important thing. Adrian, I have a question. How do you make Market Watch bid and ask disappear? And how do you set it up like yours so that you can select each market you want without filling up the taskbar? So basically, Market Watch, this is a trick. Yeah, you can't do that, can you, at the moment in yours? Because you've got right click on the Market Watch. Yeah, you've got auto arrange on. Yeah. Auto arrange doesn't let you adjust anything. So you get that. Yeah. Turn auto arrange off and you can now arrange the columns. Do what you like with them. You can't turn off bid and ask, but you can turn off spread, high-low, all the other stuff. Right-click on the Market Watch. Turn off the grid. Yeah, and then just resize that however you want it resized, and then just put the Market Watch there. If you want to drag these around as well, these undock. People don't know this. These undock. And if you hold it over there until you see it flicks, it changes size, that means you're docking it. And the same with this, yeah, navigator, undock it, and then you can dock it there. It appears down here by default. I like mine docked here. And then when you want to change charts, you literally have a chart open and click and drag. Click and hold on the instrument, drag it onto the chart. Which means you don't have to have 1,000 tabs open. I have tabs open I need open. So I need a chart, I need my dashboards, and I have a scalping chart at the minute. But all my analysis is done on just by dragging whatever I want to see onto the chart. And a lot of other people don't know as well, you can change all of these up here. So if you don't want to see stuff up here, you can add things in, remove things. Yeah, if you click on any of these, if you don't want the time frames, I don't want to see the 1 minute, I can get rid of it. Don't need the monthly. I do need the minute. And then you can adjust them. Yeah, I don't use 30-minute charts, so I can get rid of the 30-minute charts. Yeah, you can adjust all this stuff. There's lots of other drawing tools up here you probably didn't even know existed as well. There you go. Fun fact, I use the market reversal indicator on Ethereum and I'm banging profits. Cool. Market reversal indicator works on everything because everything has market structure. Even Ethereum, even crypto has market structure. Yeah. Yeah. Everything that moves has a structure. So the indicator works on absolutely everything that moves. If it moves, it has a structure. That's literally all the indicator is showing you is the current structure. Like I say, if you can make money out of it, trade it. Definitely. Have to go out now. Not sure we'll be able to join the New York session. Have a great weekend. Cool. See you later, Andy. Yes, I did have. Yeah, that's the other thing Jarmon's just said. Commission on Bitcoin is nuts. I took a 0.5% risk short on Bitcoin, and I got charged $92 for the privilege. That's another reason I don't trade crypto in CFDs. You've got to be very careful with what you're going to be charged. You need to look into what your broker charges you. Some brokers charge you ridiculous amounts of money to trade it as well, which is why everybody, I guess, uses Binance. But that's what I say. I don't understand it, so I don't trade it. Which is why you don't see me trading crypto. I have it to look at because people are always asking me about it, but I really don't pay any attention. I'm holding Bitcoin. I've got some Bitcoin, and I'm holding it long. And if it goes to zero, I'll lose the money I've got held in Bitcoin. But I'm not buying Bitcoin for trying to make money out of it speculatively. Much better to do that on indices. Just about to get a reversal on the Dow. The market's looking nice and heavy this morning. Not sure if we're going to last, but we'll see. Right, I'm going to leave it there, guys, this morning. So I'm holding this short. Basically, this is my profit. So I'm flat at the moment. I'm at break even for the morning so far. So this is my profit. What I will do probably is if I get to 1.5%, I'll probably bank 1.5% this morning, and then try this afternoon. And ride shorter, but all the time this thing's coming down, I'm kind of tempted just to let it run at the minute for that gap fill. I'm tempted to go for the home run on it today. It's within ADR, so it's doable. And obviously, if you look on the daily chart, look at the size of the candles that we've been putting in. There's no reason why we can't have a big down day today. And we're only looking to get down to there. It's not massive, is it? It's within an ADR. So I think we've got an opportunity there, potentially, for a big move today. Certainly pushing at the minute. So what I'll do is I'll wait for this. I'm going to leave this on, I think. We'll probably get a bounce at the lows. Big bit of volatility just come in there. Putin has just spoken to Scholz, whoever that is. Who's Scholz? German. Putin told Scholz that Kiev is attempting to stall the Ukraine peace negotiations. It literally is just making stuff up, isn't he? Literally. He is just making stuff up. It's ridiculous. I see Bitcoin digital currency as the lead into cashless society. Yeah, well, I mean, we've got cashless society, sort of, haven't we? I don't have cash anymore. I pay for everything on my card. That's what I call a cashless society. If you mean like Star Trek, as in we're not going to use cash anymore, That we're going to need replicators for, because until we get replicators where you can just manufacture anything you like 3D printing, I need to buy stuff. And if I need to buy stuff, I need cash. And if I need cash, I need to earn. I need to have a job. So I think we need to get to the utopian Star Trek society, definitely. But we're not there yet. I think we're a few millennia away from that. Everyone is asking about it. Oh no, top signal. I'm not quite sure what that bit was. My broker doesn't charge swaps, neither commission. Even the spread is tight. Yeah, so yeah, if you're going to trade Bitcoin, you want a commissionless broker, basically. So you won't get ECN execution, but you don't really need it, do you, with coin? I don't think so. Where do you think the pullback will be on the DAX? So I'll just be looking basically for... I mean, you can see where we're kind of pulling back to. So just look for moving average support, really, in line with fib retracements. So it's really choppy at the minute, really choppy. So when we get down here, we will probably start to get a decent bounce. So you could probably say we're going to double bottom somewhere around here. So your bounce back is probably going to be back to roughly where my entry is. So if we can push all the way down here, what's going on there? Russia is ready to find solutions in accordance with the main strategy. Oh, Christ. That's not news. Fake news. Fake news. Total fake news. He's just said the opposite. Look at that market movement off the back of that. Look, panic in the markets. Watch this thing come down like a rock now. So yeah, that's where I'd be looking for. They've literally just taken out everybody that shorted this market because everybody's trailing their stops. But that's a 20 MA pullback. So yeah, that's where I'll be looking. Where's the MA is going to be? I'll be looking for a pullback into the 50 as a deep pullback, 20 as a strong pullback. Like anything, it's a trend. Yeah, that's why I use 2 moving averages. Strong trend, weak trend. Market structure. And obviously fibs work well as well. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing. So I'm just going to hold this one. If I have to take a loss on, if I take a loss on this trade, it means we've had a complete either news event or some catastrophic reversal, in which case then I'm going to lose 0.5%. I'm not going to move it to break even. If I put it to break even, I'll get taken out by one of those. So I'm not going to put it to break even. I'm just going to hold it and go for that gap fill. So yeah, just try and get in shorts there. If you want to, you know what you can do is just stick sell limits. Yeah, good strategy. If you're expecting a trend to continuation, stick sell limits on the moving averages. Yeah, and just drag them every candle. So when the moving average moves down, drag your sell limits down, and you'll get things like that. You'll just get gathered up into it. You're probably sitting in 0.5% of profit on that, or 0.3% profit on that if you'd have got gathered up on that short. So you can do that as well, assuming that we are going to trend. And look, obviously, for candlestick patterns, bearish engulfings, inventory retracement bars. You've got an IRB there, short under the IRB there. That's the opening range low too. So that's your 90-minute opening range low. Potentially, that is where we tend to start getting a pullback 90 minutes in. Strategy. There's lots of different ways of looking at it, isn't there? Simeon, being as we're talking crypto, what's people's thoughts on XRP? Oof, don't know. Great day. Get that bone, everyone. Zelensky isn't agreeing to Russia's give us everything terms, so Putin described this as there are blocking negotiations. Yeah, it's all psychological, isn't it? He needs to be seen to win, basically. This is what they keep saying. And they had somebody on the news last night talking about Putin, who is he's a kind of an ex-oligarch. He's exiled from Russia, but he was a very rich businessman and very close to Putin. And he was saying, he was sort of psychoanalyzing Putin as he'd known him for many years. And he was saying basically the Putin that he sees now is not the man that first took over the country. And he said, in his own words, he's very scared. He's going to live his life as if he's looking over his shoulder about to get assassinated. And he thinks there's two outcomes. He's either going to be killed or there's going to be a nuclear war and he's going to be killed. So he's living every day of his life as if it's his last. And it just shows you when he's manipulating things like we're bombing the crap out of you, you either surrender or we're not going to give up, as being them blocking peace talks. It's not the words of a sane man, is it? The guy's lost the plot. And his people know it, and his army are now realising it. So, that's why I think this is more likely to be over with Putin being captured by his own people or taken out by his own people than it is by any other means at the moment. And when and if that happens, markets will start to recover a little bit, won't they? But yeah, war of words at the minute. Don't know if I mentioned already, but quadruple witching today. Some volatility, possibly on indices at the New York Open. Quadruple witching. What's that? We got options expiring today. Is that what you mean? Is that a mistype or something? Options expiries today on markets. So, but I don't think that's going to do a lot. Where do I see the news? Financial Juice is what I'm watching. Financial Juice. Anything that comes up which is important is red. But it just basically, obviously all the normal news announcements are there. But so you can keep track of what's going on with announcements. But anything, like I say, I use this to understand why things happen, not to help me trade in any way. But what was that? Everyone goes, wow, what was that? That was that. It just helps you understand what things are so that you can go, actually, no, that's not bullish. Where are the first person? You're the first person I see trading live. There's a few people out there trading live, but most of them don't last long. Do an EA for the sell limits. You can't trade that way, Frosty. The EAs have a use, but I can build an EA to do that, no problem at all. What do you think the EA is going to do there? I don't know. I don't even know what to tell it to do there. It's a flat line. It's not. You can't make EAs that just work. Yeah. What's the EA going to do here? I mean, this is. You see, the EA is going flat. I just don't know what you would tell the EA to do in that situation. There. It's going to get chopped to bits, isn't it? Don't forget, the market spends 80% of its time in mean reversion and 20% of its time trending. So, what's the logic? You can't get EAs. No matter, you get the best strategy in the world and create an EA for it. There's really, really good Bollinger Band strategies out there. Awesome. Bollinger Band scalping strategies. I've traded them. They work really well. They're quite difficult to execute properly, but they work very, very, very well. The problem is, and I've done it, and somebody contacted me actually about this in Telegram and said, I've got this really amazing Bollinger Band strategy, and I've developed multiple Bollinger Band strategies and converted them into EAs. None of them working automated, none of them. And yet I can trade them manually and make money. But you automate it, you can't, because you can't take this person out of the trading. You can't put you into an EA. And my EA is exactly the same. What's the best settings to pass FTMO with my EA? I have no idea. The EA executes trades. You're the trader. You tell me what's the best way to pass FTMO. But I could certainly try and create an EA to do that. And what you would do is, when you see the market starting to trend, you would stick the EA on the chart and get it to auto-execute entries for you. But you will be watching. I'm watching this like a hawk with my price action EA, price action toolkit, because I'm trading. I'm not letting this thing trade for me. It can do, but I'm not letting it because I want to trade it. It's daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly options all expiring the same. Quad witching. Right, oh, okay. It's like a full moon with an eclipse. Yeah, options expiries, they do have an impact because they act as magnets for the markets. But by the time the options expire, you tend to find that people have rolled over and have new positions on, and those options expiries, the market has been moved to the levels it can do. The options expiry day doesn't tend to act as much of a magnet I used to find in stocks when I was trading. They act as a magnet. That might explain why we've had not on these but on the US markets, that might explain why we've had a sudden 3-day hike just ahead of the expiries in a bear market. Don't know. When you're trading intraday though, it's not as important. It helps with daily bias, but it's just another thing to learn. Platinum going up. Strategic metal, yeah. Yeah, platinum's a problem with the war. Lots of metals are. Palladium as well. I didn't realise how much palladium was used, but yeah, it's used a lot. Reported today, homeowners fearful of mortgage increases as Fed said to possible 6 rate hikes this year, I heard. Mind you, I guess we've just had one. So yeah, 6 rate hikes, 1.5%. We're forecasting double figures in the UK over the next couple of years. Most people's mortgages will increase by around about 15 to 20%. And obviously 200% increases on our bills for gas and electric, and the price of food going up, and the price of petrol going up, and wages staying stagnant. Not good. Hence, you need to be working for yourself. If you work for the man, you can only earn as much as the man will give you. If you work for yourself, you can earn as much as you like. Right, I'm going to call it a day there. I'm just going to monitor this trade. I'm going to leave this one running, as I said, and then I will see what happens this afternoon. I'll be back at 1 o'clock for the New York session. News-wise, obviously, there is none, so we don't have to worry about news today. We've got retail sales for the CAD, so if you've got any CAD positions on, keep an eye on your CAD positions. We may get some movement off of retail sales. Retail sales for the Canadian dollar doesn't tend to do a massive amount, but obviously, if it comes out dramatically different to expectations, we might get some movement. Home sales does nothing, very rarely. So no news to watch out for. So the only thing to really keep your eyes peeled on is any war-related news or anything that central government or Fed announces that's unexpected. But there's no talking heads today either. I don't think we're going to get really an awful lot of movement apart from just normal manipulation. So we're back at 1 o'clock. we'll have a look at the markets at 1 and see what's happened with everything there. And hopefully we'll get some continuation drop on the DAX today and get that gap filled. And that'd be trade of the day, really, if we can get that. But I will keep an eye on this and see where we go. But otherwise, be back, Profster. Thanks for the $500. No problem. Don't copy me. Trade yourself. So yeah, we're back at 1 o'clock, ready for 1:30 for the New York opening bell, and then we'll have a look at the DAX, the Dow, and the S&P. Nasdaq, the Dow, and the S&P in more detail, and trade that this afternoon. All right, have a good one, everybody, and I will see you hopefully this afternoon.